Okay, you're gonna start to, start to get him to come to, and I think he's very slowly going to start to stir. So, if nobody does anything, nobody does anything else to intervene, he's going to start to open his eyes, and he's, you know, I don't know if you say anything immediately while he's still getting his bearings. Like, it's clearly he's still trying to, like, figure out where he is and what's going on.
I will stand in the way of Tyrion so that he doesn't see Tyrion.
I just look
Immediately.
into it. It's me and him anyway.
Wait, say again?
Don't stand in front of me. Just don't.
I'm more
No
worried if he
point
starts screaming and gives away our location.
We're away from Tevinter.
Guards! Guards! There's a murder! There's a murder! He starts screaming, and he just doesn't shut up unless somebody shuts him up.
Leon's gonna take a piece of bread and just put it in his mouth. Have some bread.
You're gonna stuff the bread into his mouth, and he's gonna be. He doesn't stop though. He's still. It's like a robot, basically. Like, yeah, okay, there's a piece of bread in my mouth, but I'm still gonna be screaming as if it wasn't there, and so, yeah, he's just gonna be flailing around, screaming, and.
I was gonna say, I think Pasha's gonna say, I'm going to take him away from this. I'm gonna try and get him to calm down for his own sake more than anything. And she's just gonna try and lead him away, just saying, like, now, sir, you need to calm down and everything will be okay. We'll get you back to where you're supposed to be. Everything will be just try to calm him.
Roll a persuasion, I guess. Persuasion?
Communication persuasion.
Communication persuasion?
19.
Okay, great. So yeah, you start to reason with the man, and initially he's like he was half paying attention to you, but the fact that there is a piece of bread in his mouth, he can't help but hear what you're saying. If he didn't have bread in his mouth, his screams would have probably drowned out what you were saying, and he wouldn't have heard a thing. But because he can hear your words, he will settle down and he will stop, at least momentarily. Stop. You can tell though that he's very laser focused on, I do not belong here. I need to get back. You can probably deduce that that's what he's thinking right now. I'm not supposed to be here. I have to get back. So
Tyrion's going to ask Leon, how bad is it?
Well, it's not good. But what's done is done, and we can only move forward, and it'll be fine.
Well, let's just say you're a very popular guy right now in Tevinter, Tyrion. Very popular, celebrity status even.
At least they'll maybe forget the dragon I turned into.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be an urban legend. You'll be remembered long after you're gone.
I'm sure your name will be in the history books, and you will certainly be remembered.
Do you want some bread?
Do you want some butter? At this point, Rosie seems to have. I feel like Rosie's been picking up on some of Leon's mannerisms and vice versa. Do you want some butter? It's very cute.
And Darrison just kind of just slow Picard face palms, and it's just.
Tyrion is like, he's trying to look at the part, but also he's so focused right now on the ground, it's like embarrassment, you can say. And when you're embarrassed so much, the only thing you can do is keep your head down. So that's sort of his. He's keeping his head down. He says, "I really screwed up."
And Darrison just kind of says,
It is quite good bread.
Well,
are the elves rebelling and something like that, or?
Well, nothing's happened yet. There's some grumblings around town, but at this point in time, we can't do anything. So the best course of action is to think of our next plan. I know it can feel difficult, especially when
Difficult.
things don't turn out as you envision to begin with. But at some point, you've got to move forward. You've got to make the next plan.
Tyrion's standing up, and he's going to kind of look at look at the rest. Where's my gear? Must have left them around somewhere.
I actually would have been, you noticed, taking off various pieces of equipment that you'd given to me. So
Yeah.
that's probably piled in a
He's-
section with your armor.
He's sort of gonna be putting up he's gonna like start kind of putting on everything. So his armor.
Does he
and
pick
his
up
gear.
the knife that I set between us?
No, he's gonna pick it up. He's gonna pick it up and he's just going to stow it.
By this point, Nathan and Rousseau have arrived, and I think that means everyone except for Darren, who will join you the next day, is together.
Yeah, but at the moment, Tyrion is just getting dressed in his equipment.
Oh. Hey, Leon.
Yeah?
I think Russo could use a hand here.
Oh, yes. He goes over and inspects Russo.
I'd like to say that we come in like a little bit dirty and muddy from having to go through the passageway. And then Russo's got the blood coming down from his forehead. How do I look?
Peachy.
You know, some people like rugged look. He's going to cast heal.
Do you think I'm still going to be pretty after this?
I think you'll look better than I do.
I like to imagine that Pasha, from where she is off to the side with Senior, she just kind of looks, sees the wound on Russo's head, and you know that fire, like, who dare hurt him? But then she's like, oh crap, I'm dealing with this guy, so, like...
She's got my child was hurt at school. I need to see the principal kind of look.
Yeah.
I need to see the principal kind of look in her face.
Must speak to manager.
Yes, must speak to management.
Must
Her hair is only really short for some reason, but when the camera pans back to her, it's long and...
Yes.
And as Leon's checking over Rousseau, Daretham would go ahead and put a hand on Nathan's shoulder and just kind of say,
You all right, Nathan?
You should have seen that mob and the things that they were saying to Rousseau in his face. I think he got spat on a few times, too.
Only a spat on. Well, things has really progressed.
Well, rocks were involved as well, but that was kind of obvious.
Rocks. Damn, Russo, you're lucky.
Always been hard-headed. Guess it paid off.
and he
Tyrion
kind of
also
mutters
has
under his
medical
breath,
bag.
go ahead.
Like Tyrion's looking at his medical bag right now. He dressed up in fully, but the one thing that like everyone knows, like the only thing that's missing from Tyrion is the medical bag, and he's holding it in his hand, just looking at it.
It's okay, Tyrion. You sit this one out.
He's gonna toss it to the side. No, I'm going. He's making it, and he's leaving. He's sort of walking away from the group
What direction?
towards the Winter,
No.
and he's walking.
Can
Wow.
I roll a strength check to like
Yes.
hold Tyrion
I mean,
down to
if
the
you
ground?
want to do the whole like you put your hand out like and you stop him there, he won't resist. He's just gonna stop.
I'm still gonna roll a might anyway because I'm kind of ticked.
Wow, this is familiar, Rosie says.
He'll for now he's gonna let you. For now he's gonna let you. He's not gonna contest for now.
Also, by the way, real quick, before this goes on, Nathan would probably, because he's right there, would hear Daretham mutter,
I'm surprised any whips or lashing weren't involved.
as he's mentioning on Rousseau's head. He just mutters that to himself, but Nathan probably hears that.
So when Tyrion walks by, Russo's gonna get up, and you feel a strength like you've never felt before from Russo. Basically,
Yeah.
be like, "Stop."
Yeah, he's not contesting. He's like, for now, he's not going to resist.
Just go sit over there. I'll talk to you after I'm patched up.
Seems the only thing that can fix the problem is I. At least partially.
Anyway, where were we, Leon?
Oh, yes. He cast heal on you for 9 HP. I don't know if that's enough to...
That's one less than what I took.
Oh, okay.
Tyrion's gonna keep standing. He's like, he's not moving from where he is.
Well, I think we should plan our next move. I think we were thinking about Weishaupt.
Yeah, we've got to wait for Darren, though.
Yeah. Hopefully she comes quickly.
Hopefully.
As I don't think our presence is helpful here anymore.
I'm going to have to agree. Bostwica. I'm going to call her Bostwica. Bostwica says I'm going to have to agree.
Wait. When did Narika get here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have other modes of transportation other than the wagon. Let's say Violetta and her mirror helped a bit with that.
Narika, I thought you didn't set foot into Vinter.
I didn't, but drastic times, I think, require drastic measures. I, in particular, was very concerned about Tyrion's well-being, knowing that this was going to be his next stopping point.
Well, at least it'll be nice to have a merchant on hand.
I probably will need to get back with the circus after this, however. I don't need to slow you all down.
It'd be hard to carry you on a dragon along with the rest. Already full on passenger capacity.
And if I was being completely honest, I have no interest in joining you in your little adventure beyond this point.
But you get to see the world, Narika. The world.
I've had my share of seeing the world, thank you very much, she says. I think that seeing the world at the circus's pace is more my speed.
When are you leaving?
Probably tomorrow.
Okay.
Once I know that Tyrion is all right.
When you go, could you take a letter back to Violetta for me?
Of course, dear. Certainly. I'm sure she misses you a lot.
Oh, and here's a in-progress tracking rune so that you can still send us letters in the future.
She will accept it. Thank you. I'm sure that now you are super mobile, this will be very helpful.
Yeah. Better than just, hoping that you'll bump into us.
So, just for everyone's sake, we did get the letter, Calpurnia. She is aware of who is going to the party. Things in Minrathos are going to be a little dicey for a few days, but with that letter, they'll at least have a method to start calming things down. Hopefully.
That's good. Now then, Senior, where do you want to be? Where would you like to be right now?
Is the bread still in his mouth?
She's going to remove it just so that he can answer.
I am the property of Lord Amerin Forfax, and I need to be returned to him immediately.
Deceased. Good luck finding him.
Then I need to be returned to his household immediately.
Okay, then let's get you back there, shall we? I think it's probably safest for me to take
I'll
him.
go with you.
Pardon?
I'll go with you.
Are you sure? Given because I look like everyone else here.
It's, I think, still better to have more than just you, just in case.
Okay.
I can go with, Nathan says. Unless you really want to go, Daretham.
Why not all three of us?
Very well.
Then let's get you back where you belong, Senior. And she'll start leaving.
Senior will follow you, and he goes without even looking back at Tyrion. He just goes with you.
He has nothing else to say, so.
I'm going to say that you guys will be able to return him back to Amerin Forfax's estate. There already, of course, will be guards there or law enforcement there because they're still like finishing up investigations and all that good stuff. And I think one of the law enforcement, when you come with Amerin, is actually going to start asking you questions, and they will ask, "This is one of Amerin Forfax's runaway slaves. Where did you find him?"
Oh, no.
He was wandered.
Oh, go ahead.
He didn't run away. We found him bound and gagged in the woods, and he requested to be brought back. He did not run away. He was taken against his will. He is happy to be back here. He is completely innocent in all of this.
Yes. Yeah, we found him. He was shouting out for help, so we returned him.
Was he with this individual? And they'll hold up the Tyrion poster.
Daretham will say.
Before.
Daretham will say.
I think I saw a figure run off when we approached. It could be that person.
Roll a deception.
Do I get a +2 because Pasha's helping?
Is Pasha helping with the lie?
Pasha is not helping with that lie. Pasha is just looking like.
Well, one thing I also noticed that instinctively Callista started nodding her head. Does that mean that Pasha instinctively nodded her head as well?
No, I'm gonna. Pasha is just looking at Daretham like.
Okay.
Remember, you have intrigue, Daretham.
I got my shit. So let's hope I got a decent bonus. Let's hope. I'm gonna reroll that with intrigue. Okay. 15 with 2 stomp points.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I'm not lying. He was there. So
you're not lying.
This thing close enough to the truth to be reasonable.
That seems to satisfy the officer there, and then he's gonna say, "And you haven't seen anyone? You haven't seen this man within the last 24 hours?" He's gonna ask. Well, he's gonna ask the 3 of you.
Yeah.
Nathan's not gonna say anything.
I was gonna the portrait of Tyrion. It's very unflattering, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty much this.
It's like.
It's like
exactly. Right, exactly.
We got an image for that, so.
Pasha's she's gonna look at it and I can safely say I have never seen anyone who looked exactly like that in my life.
Okay.
Solid.
Awesome.
Complete truth. And Daretham will say,
yeah. Hair color's familiar, but other than that.
Well, thank you very much for returning this property. If you do see anyone by this description or hear anything about this person's name, please inform us immediately, and you will be rewarded accordingly.
Of course, officer.
Just to be clear, this slave won't be harmed. As I said, we found him gagged. He's not going to be punished for something that was beyond his abilities, correct?
Now Daretham's giving a look to Pasha.
He said there might be a mild investigation, but to be perfectly honest, he is a tranquil. Therefore, there is no reason for him to run away. And secondly, your account and report will be taken into heavy consideration as well. He will immediately, however, be inherited by Mr. Forfax's next of kin. And if there's nothing else, then they're going to go back.
Good day,
and you guys are free.
And he'll just start walking
day.
back. He will also try to, as they're going, keep an eye. It probably won't give him anything, but he is looking if he catches a glance of Darren.
Darren currently is not around. But I will say, though, that as you are traveling back outside the city, the whole city is tense. You can probably... There isn't a curfew, per se, but it feels like people are treating it as if there is a curfew. At least people who don't want anything involved with stuff.
Yeah.
They're, like, closing their shutters, you know, rushing their kids inside. But for people who are not, like, acting that way, there's definitely tension. And, like, something's gonna go down, and you maybe shouldn't be around for that.
Darren is just gonna be very tense, like I said, looking for Darren, probably won't find her, and Pasha and Nathan would both notice, like, his hood is moving in a way you can see that he's, like, his head's looking, and you can definitely notice his body's tense as his staff is, like, just clicking on the ground.
Pasha will just say, she'll be fine, Deatham. She's highly competent.
I know.
She will be fine.
Still doesn't help the worry.
So I'm gonna say Russo very poignantly waited till about everyone went to sleep, and then he's gonna find Tyrion wherever he would be. You got any preference on that skull?
I mean, Tyrion would not have gone to sleep. He's still awake, so he's probably.
Are you just like psycho staring the fire at camp or something like that?
No, he's thinking. I think he's like probably looking. He's like got shoulders to a tree, looking at the city of Tevinter right now in the distance.
Russo is gonna slowly walk up behind him and just kind of lean on like the nearest tree nearby. How's your head?
I don't know.
Okay, Tyrion. I'm gonna speak rather frank and to the point because I think it's gonna be what you have to hear right now. Whether it is or it isn't, that's up to you. Now,
very well.
I'm not gonna say Marin didn't deserve what came to him, and that you weren't right in that act. The thing is, you acted very rashly, and I'm sure everyone else has duly informed you of that. And a lot of people who've suffered just like you are probably going to suffer more in the immediate and long term because of it.
Yeah.
My recommendation is that you sit on this, you think, and whatever you feel your endgame with Tevinter is after we're done, that's your call. But I just want it known that I'm very disappointed with how you lectured me about my brother. And Tyrion, one last thing, and I'm going to pull out the one sovereign I withheld. Here's your pay, because everyone else is going to have to clean up after it. And just kind of set it in your palm.
He just looks at the coin, looks back at you. And he's going to do like the coin flip. I got no coin for this.
No.
I know what I did wrong.
You keep it. You remember what you've done and grow from this. That's my recommendation. I've done many of wrong choices. I'm not going to morally lambast you. I'm pretty sure plenty of people will do that. It just, that coin needs to sit right next to your heart, and you need to think.
I already made my decision. You can stop me now if you want to.
Whatever you've chosen, you've chosen. Tyrion, you're a good man. But every once in a while, we do fuck up. And this was a pretty big one.
Then I'm sorry for everything I did any wrong to any of you.
You didn't do wrong to me. This'll heal. We'll be fine. It's them in Minrathos and the rest of Tevinter that I'm a little concerned about.
Well, that's why I'm going back.
If that's your choice when this is over, that's your choice.
I'm going now. You can stop me now if you wish. But right now, that's the only thing I have left.
Tyrion, if you go back, you will hang and you will die. If you want to make up for what you've done, it's kind of hard to do it when you're dead.
He looks back. What's what I'm trying to think right now? Am I better alive or dead?
Living and with an effort's always better than dead and guiltful.
Then I'm no doctor. He's gonna pick up the medical bag. He's gonna pick up a medical bag, and he's gonna look at you, hand it to you. Just keep it. I've got no right to use it. Not for now.
When you earn it, I'll give it back. Just get yourself together a night. And with that, Russo's gonna slowly just put the medical bag in his pack, and then just turn and go to where he was gonna go sleep.
As Tyrion sees Russo sort of goes away, he's going to sort of put his shoulder back on the tree. He's just going to look at the city, and in his mind, he's sort of going to think: are the nightmares going to get worse, or are they going to go away? Oh, mother, father, ancestors, I will make penitence for this. I will.
Meanwhile, I think the rest of the party is starting to get ready to camp out for the night. And Rosie has taken the petals of the flower that he had given to Leon, is proceeding to lay some of the petals down on where he's sleeping. And as she's doing that, she's going to say, "No nightmares tonight."
Haha, that's the hope.
She's going to say, "I think after a crazy day today, this probably would be as good of a time as any to put these to good use before they shrivel up."
Yeah. Thanks for this. It'll help with getting a good night's rest, as I think, well, we all need it.
You're okay with all that's going on? Well, not okay, but are you okay, Leon?
Yeah. Unfortunate that certain events transpired, but there's really nothing we can do. That place was a powder keg to begin with, and though yes, we did provide the fire that started the explosion,
I do believe that if we involve ourselves even more with this city, we're just gonna make things worse, not better.
Yeah. So, I think our place is elsewhere, and we'll do more good elsewhere. Calpurnia has a job ahead of her.
We'll just let the Guardians clean that up. Yeah.
Haha.
I have a lot to report to my dad. I'm not gonna...
Oh,
I'm not going to implicate people too much, but I do have to say something, because I'm sure Aunt Kenna's going to be asking a lot of questions.
Yeah. I guess, as always, write the truth. Just, well, it'll be a fun reply, though. Haha. Whatever happens.
She'll give you a quick kiss on the lips. Good night, Leon.
Good night. And hopefully no nightmares. I'll inform you when you wake up.
Leon, you will have no nightmares, and thanks to the petals, you will be more rested than you've ever felt.
Whoa.
In a very long time. I'm gonna say for the rest of the session, you'll get a +2 morale bonus.
Whoa.
Wow. It pays to have a romance.
So
Yeah.
he gets another +2 from frickin' flowers. Rousseau doesn't get a +12 from the rest of it? Come on.
Rousseau's got karma.
Yeah.
Rousseau's got
he
a lot
did.
right
He
now.
did good things.
Yeah, I willfully gave up like 30 grand.
29
Yeah.
grand. You gave 1 to Tyrion for like him to suffer.
Blood money.
Tyrion, yes. Tyrion, if you start hanging out more with Tumble, you might start getting some bonuses too.
I don't think
Okay.
that is what's on Tyrion's mind right now.
I know.
Too much shit.
I will say, Darethon does not have a peaceful night's rest. Not a nightmare rest, but not a peaceful one.
I have a nightmare. I have nightmares, I imagine, and I don't know if that needs to be played out, but whatever.
So, that night, Tyrion unfortunately has nightmares.
So it sort of starts off with how he gets most of his nightmares. It's him on the post, on a simple wooden post in the. It wouldn't be the garden. It would probably be like the courtyard of Amrit's mansion state, and it's he's hearing the smack of the whip on his back, but there is no pain. It's like he's feeling nothing. And as he sort of has his head down, he would look up, and in front of him there is everyone who he's met with, in terms of the player cast, the entire party, all the guardians he has met with, all the NPC party members. They're all looking at him, and they're all shaking their heads. Almost, and Tyrion just looks and kind of looks back, and he sees what would be the bathtub where Amren is dead, his throat cut slit. And he sort of looks at it all, and then he looks above. He sees his mother. We all make mistakes, Tyrion. But you just made one that changed the course of your entire life. And there's almost a sound like a shattering, like a glass shatters in a million pieces, and he's falling. And he says to himself, what are my beliefs then? What are they? And he wakes up, sweating and shaking.
So the next morning arrives, and right when you guys are starting to break camp, you will see Darren arrive, and she's got, a large pack on her back that's underneath all of the flowing silky fabric that she normally wears. And again, she seems to be very laser focused expression on her face. She goes up to Darethim, gives Darethim a kiss.
Yeah, he'd actually, as she approaches, he'd run up to meet her in the middle, and he'd kind of just
Yes.
put a hand and just.
Be all right. Nothing happened.
Oh yes, Peachy Keen, let's get out of here. I am ready to hit the road. Trust me, you do not want to go back there, she says, pointing back at Tevinter.
Good.
And everyone, even probably Tyrion, notices that all that tension that was in Darethim's body does flow out. He does give her a kiss and hugs her kind of tight for a second.
Things are nuts over there. People I've overheard, they're actually talking about Calpurnia and how things were way better in Tevinter when Archon Radonis was in charge.
Well then, let's fly off on a trip.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Unless you have a political action campaign stuffed in your back pocket, there's not much we can really do.
So, you guys will go into your... What is it? Hi, Dragoon!
Hi, Dragoon!
Boom.
Who's driving?
Who's been to Weissap before?
I think none of us actually.
None of you have actually been to Weissouth, but...
Tyrion has traveled the Anderfells.
Yeah,
Sarah
so
has
Tyrion
traveled
would
the
probably be
Anderfells.
sort of leading the direction, but it's So he's leading everyone, but I don't know if we feel emotions like throughout the party, but because Tyrion's the heart of the party, there's like this sort of sadness, sort of like enveloping. There's everyone's mind is sort of
yes.
Maybe as the mind, Daretham is like trying to, with the dragon, the sadness kind of makes it slow down a bit, but the mind is like trying to just focus on tasks, like get. Maybe it's like a co-thing where Darethm's just trying to keep focus on.
But the heart is bigger than the mind, unfortunately, and it's overwhelming those emotions. It's
Okay.
That's the sort of feeling.
What and for flavor, what is the dragon of choice? What is the dragon form that you're taking?
I think it's Abyssal Dragon then.
Abyssal, awesome choice. Okay, so you'll transform
in the Western Reaches, right? So it's sort of that.
Yeah,
I think so too. So that might be fitting. So you'll transform into the Abyssal Dragon far away from Tevinter so they won't see you. And gather up the group. Naraka is going to, make her leave now that she's satisfied that Tyrion did not run off to Tevinter. But she will probably, I'm not going to roleplay this, but she will probably tell Tyrion that when they meet again, she would like to have a talk with Tyrion when they meet again.
Yeah.
And one last question. Would it be fair to say I would have had time just to give like a little love letter for Violetta?
Yes,
can I roll a calligraphy because I feel like he would have sketched a portrait?
Sure, that would be sweet.
So it's 7, so 12, 19, so 20.
Maybe you should be using the paint bombs from now on. You've got amazing art.
I can only sketch, that's it.
Okay. So, you make an amazing sketch of what?
Just like a moment he had of when he saw Violetta and Balin together.
Oh, that's super sweet. Very cool. Yeah, you can do that, and Naraka will be more than happy to deliver it for you. So, you will fly to the Anderfells, and for the very first time, you all are going into the region of diminished fire, which I believe means that you have taken a tour to all of the regions by this point in the campaign.
Yeah, we were in water.
Yep.
I think so.
Take note, Tyrion gets no bonuses or disadvantages, but everybody else has different advantages and disadvantages. Now, please take note
I have to spend mana to cast spells now. How dare you, Hark?
Yeah. Do you want me to say what the effect of the fire is?
If you'd like to, yes, please go ahead.
Outsiders in this region will expend 1 extra MP for their spells as mages, and rogues and warriors have 1 less stun point when they roll a stunt for those who are not native to the region of fire.
Which, because we're level 11, means, or level 11 or higher, means that it's just whatever you roll, because you normally get a +1.
Yes. Yeah. So the reason is because there's far less energy. The energy is far less efficient here. Lamps and torches don't glow quite as bright. It takes more time for fire to burn. Creatures tend to be more lethargic and must exert more energy to accomplish tasks for those who are not native.
Just to give people who are watching a refresher on the Anderfells, because I actually don't know much about the Anderfells myself before this campaign. It is a kingdom in northwestern Thedas, located north of Navarra and Orlais, and west of the Tevinter Imperium. The Anderfells is best known for being the birthplace of the Grey Wardens and the site of their headquarters, Weishaupt Fortress. This is mostly a very arid location, a lot of deserts, and an arid landscape. The Anderfells experience dangerously hot summers. During cooler months, dust storms blow inland and make farming all but impossible. Geographically, the Anderfells consist mostly of steppes, largely deserted after weathering the most severe blights. The capital is Hosburg, located northwest from Weishaupt. The area is bordered by the Wandering Hills and the Donarks to the north, the Colian Sea to the east, and the Tevinter Imperium to the southeast. Also on its southern borders lies beneath the Hunterthorn Mountains and Great Tig of Kal Sharak, once capital of the Dwarven Empire. On the west lies harsh and uninhabited territory, ending on the Volca Sea, with the sole port town of Laish lying on its shores. The entire purpose of Laish was to receive ships from Volca Sea, odd-looking cargo vessels that would arrive laden with wares and spices which cannot be found in Thedas. This trade stopped early in the Black Age, which caused Laish's decline, Several Tevinter merchants' houses banded together to mount an expedition to re-establish trade, but all of them and the few vessels that followed did not return, which faded all interest for the people across the Volga Sea. According to Ander legend, these traders are called the Voshai, and they were hostile towards the people of Laish, completely uninterested in learning the king's tongue or anything more than barter, and were obsessed with purchasing lyrium. According to those legends, the captains of each ship were dwarves and were treated with such deference that it implied that they held profound power in their society. No elves were working on the Voshai ships. Based on questionable reports in recent years, many Voshai ships have returned to Laish carrying tales of a massive cataclysm in their homeland. Now, one thing that I will say of note is that one notable site in Anderfells is something called Our Lady of Anderfells, which is a ginormous white sculpture of Andraste. And by ginormous, think in Lord of the Rings, you saw like those massive
The Argonath.
statues. Yes. So similar like that in size. And the statue is holding an external flame carved into the Merdane near Weishaupt. And I'm going to say that as you are flying, all of the PCs, please roll me a perception spot. I'm going to say that 15 or higher will see some activity down below near Our Lady of Anderfells. Not like right up against it, but maybe like, we'll say a mile away, maybe. Roughly a mile away. It's close enough, though, that you can clearly see it from where, if you were to land, you can clearly see it. Rousseau, specifically, this is fitting, who got higher, will specifically see that these people are wearing Grey Warden armor. And they seem to be making their way towards... it looks like I don't know what it's called. It's not a valley, but it's definitely like a dip. It's dip in the landscape. They're like... and it's almost like a... You're not sure if it's human-made, but it's almost like a staircase that goes down this dip.
Like a pit hole sort?
I guess, but it's more like a canyon.
Gorge?
It's like a gorge. Yeah.
For brevity's sake, will I be able to communicate that there are wardens down over there?
Yes.
Do we want to approach?
I mean...
Oh, actually, fun little side note. When Daretham speaks in his mind, and you maybe didn't hear it before because it's been a gradual change, but at this point, his voice doesn't sound quite so gravelly anymore. And for the viewers, it'd be what his voice sounded like when he was an elf. So mentally, you all can hear now as he speaks. Do we want to meet with him, maybe?
Something's going on, but should we get? Do we want to get into the Grey Warden business?
Well, we're gonna have to at some point.
Not to mention me and Balm are going to be in issue.
Is it best to do a trial run with introductions, or should we just go directly to the gate?
I say we land a little bit from that crowd going down the steps where they won't see us, and then we approach and take it from there.
We have a griffin with us. Maybe that can help.
Go ahead.
So, Hark, since I know about the statue and all, would I know how far we are from Weishaupt Fortress?
Yeah.
Since I've been under. Yeah,
it's. I don't remember off the top of my head how close Weishaupt is to. How close it is, but it's relatively.
Probably no more than like a few miles, maybe.
Yeah,
like walking.
So I communicate. Well, whatever happens, I know the region well enough, so Weishaupt shouldn't be far from here.
Oh, maybe head around the right side of the gorge, out of sight, and walk from there.
Sounds
I'd
good.
say so.
And what's the plan for Balm? I mean, I can wear my robe, but what are we going to do about Balm?
Well,
It's not very inconspicuous.
if what Daniel and Connor said was true, then most of the Grey Wardens at Weishaupt know about the existence of Awakened Darkspawn.
Oh, is that?
There's a 50-50 chance that they might be fine with you.
Oh, okay. So it's all the wardens know about us, but they're split on what to do with us. Is that right, Mark?
There's split. Yeah.
But they
Okay.
know about us. Okay, so we don't
They
need to
seem
hide.
to have.
Yeah.
There seems to be some sort of a civil war
Yeah.
Got
between
it.
them right now.
All right. Well, then I'll say.
It's a civil
Well-
Cold War, pretty much.
Then I'll just say, well, cross our fingers, I suppose.
I mean, worst case scenario, we give him a big hood, but that was going to keep him.
That I think might be even more suspicious.
Yeah.
He's never looked good with a cloak.
Are you going to land near them? Are you going to land far away from them?
We're gonna land like
What's-
midway distance, so ideally they wouldn't see us passing over. They might be able to notice us, and then we'll walk to meet them.
Which party members are you going to take? You probably should just take 2. Realistically.
Probably Valor.
Yeah.
Valor Ball? Question
You
mark?
want to bring Vom with you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Eh,
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do Nathan again, because Nathan's always nice for
Yeah.
diplomatic missions.
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like Balm might be the. I mean, I'm awake in Darkspawn too, but Balm might be like another. I don't know. Could be
mean-
fun for drama.
I would say we're pretty much. We had a lot with Nathan and Minrathos,
Yeah.
so I would opt either Rosie or Darren.
I'll tell you what, because Valor can't speak, I'll let you bring a third speaking
Okay.
piece.
Maybe we take, because we haven't seen Darren much. Maybe we take Darren and Balm.
Do you want to take Darren and Bomb?
Maybe.
If you want, if we're gonna take bomb, we'll take bomb. How does everyone else feel about that?
I mean, out of character story wise, I feel like that'll be the most drama. So.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. It's.
I'm fine with Balm or Rosie, but I think probably Darren and then Balm or Rosie.
Let's go with Darren, Rosie, and then Valor. We'll see with that. Did I go with everyone? Darren, Rosie, Valor?
Darren, Rosie. Okay, so we're not doing Bomb. Okay.
We'll leave
Oh.
it.
Darren, Rosie, and
We
Valor.
don't cause problems for the Grey Wardens.
We gotta dip their
we
toes.
already got one dark spawn. We don't need a big one.
This is just my security guard, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
I will also specifically, I'll have my hood up for now, but it won't be quite as like layered over. It'll be a little more obvious.
Okay. So you guys are going to make your way towards the Grey Wardens, and by this point, it looks like they have fully gone down the steps, and you don't see them anymore. But you do see at the bottom of the steps appears to be the opening into some sort of cave, or some sort of underground cavern of some sort.
So, do
Does
we
it look like a
follow?
Deep Roads entrance?
You're not sure.
Okay.
You can't tell.
I mean, we can, but this is the Grey Warden's job to just go in and see what's going on. But
I mean, we could flash a light at them. It's easier to see in the dark. If they see a flashing light, they'll be like, "Oh, there's something there."
Actually, Hark, since Grey Wardens and Darkspawn can sense each other, could I try to make a perception to see how far away they are?
Sure.
Ugh, 9.
No.
Can I roll a perception just to gauge like how far down we'd be going? That is 10 with 5 stump points.
I'm gonna say it's like the staircase itself is probably no more than 2 stories down.
I say we walk the staircase. If we see them there, great. If not, we've got our schedule to keep.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you'll make your way down the staircase, and there's an entrance to what appears to be a cave.
Is there anything defining in this cave, like any sculptures or carvings?
Are you gonna go in to? Are you gonna go in?
A little ways, maybe? Just
Yeah, we've this far.
I don't
Yeah,
like
well-
this.
yeah. No, but how would we just go a few feet forward and see what's going in the entrance?
Yes, that's fine. You'll go a few feet forward, and you're gonna see sconces, I think is what they call, that holds torches along the walls. They look like they were added to this cave very recently. Very new.
Does this from a general look like a mining cave, a passage, or like a structure? Like, can we get a rough just from the? Does this look like ramshackle, or does it look like constructed?
It doesn't look like it's. It doesn't seem like it was a mining cave, or it doesn't seem like the cave was used by man, like
So
until recently.
looks natural.
It looks natural. It only looks like people just recently perhaps moved in.
Would I know what this have I seen maybe caves like these before in Anderfells, or is that the first time? At
Yeah,
least?
I mean, I'm sure there are a bunch of caves like this around. I don't think it's unusual.
Would I know what their purpose is of, though?
I mean, I guess animals might be living
Probably
in
just
them.
shade,
Maybe.
shelter.
Shade, shelter.
Should be
So I'm gonna say, I mean, this isn't uncommon. This is just another cave here, shades and all that.
Are there any markings on the walls?
If you go a little bit further, yes, you will start seeing that there is the insignia of the Grey Wardens hanging on a wall somewhere.
Recent or
Recent.
okay?
Could this be, Rosie says, could this be maybe some sort of Grey Warden hideout or something? Which is weird why they would have a hideout so close to their fortress.
Oh,
Who knows? Unless this is a connector to the Deep Road.
maybe if it could be a Deep Roads connection.
Um,
Or this
So-
is the Civil War, if you will.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, we just did come from intrigue, so we're gonna stealth in, or are we gonna pretend we didn't see this?
Darren says, "Oh, great, more politics.
Seems you can't escape them.
Maybe we should have brought, I don't know, a politician like the prince with us this time."
How about
We can always head back to the camp before we go to Weishaupt.
how about maybe one or two of us goes and quietly and see what the commotion is about? Maybe.
Yeah,
I'd volunteer.
I'd also recommend hiding Daretham as well. We don't know where their loyalties currently lie.
That's why I have the hood on.
Just
But I
on the
will,
marriages.
I will say, Grey Wardens and Darkspawn can sense each other's presence, so at a certain proximity, it doesn't really matter.
Great. Okay.
Without needing anyone to roll, you are going to start hearing footsteps approaching down the
From where?
hall from inside the cave.
Okay.
Dare them head back up the stairs.
Jijoko.
I'd like to kind of sneak forward. Is there a corner? Like, could I like, try to sneak a bit? Like, use the shadows to my advantage to try and like peek like who's coming?
Sure, if you'd like.
I can make a stealth check if need be.
And yeah, I'll back up a bit.
19 with 4 stun points. As I
Yep. You will sneak up ahead,
Mhm.
and you're going to see that there appears to be 3 Grey Wardens cautiously approaching, you can presume, because maybe they sense something's happening at the entrance of this cave. One of whom is an older version of this person.
ah.
Oh.
Fergus.
I mean, Tyrion's in the Anderfells. Would he know who this is, or nothing? No information.
I would probably say that roll a history, knowledge history, I guess, or anything.
Cunning.
Also,
cunning.
should I make another perception to see if I can feel the wardens coming?
I was just gonna apply the one you had before,
Oh, okay.
the 9 you
14.
had before.
14 with 2 stun points.
14. Yeah, you're gonna know who Fergus Koosland is.
Okay, and he's gonna take a peek. He's going to quickly sneak away. Gets to the party. Fergus is here. Fergus Koosland is
Oh.
here.
All right then.
Throw the hood back. I'd know who Fergus is, right?
I would say by now you would have known who he is.
I'd at least heard of him throughout the Awakened community, so.
Everyone else can also roll. Everyone in the party besides Tyrion can roll a history, knowledge history,
Do I need
or whatever.
to roll, or?
Cunning history. Yes.
Does Pasha need to roll, given that Dandelion told her about Fergus, and that she was told that Fergus was the one who recruited Dandelion?
You don't have to know that. Yeah, then you don't have to.
And do I have to roll
anything.
because I would have been in the
Wait,
Awakened
and
for a
then
little bit, and he's known to be like one of the big helpers.
then Daniel told me about both Corin and
Yeah,
Fergus.
Russo wouldn't. Yeah, Russo, and also you were told by Anton.
You know, Daniel.
Oh yeah, Daniel.
But I still would like for people other than Pasha to roll.
Okay.
Because
13.
I don't think Pasha would know this information outside of what Daniel told her.
Didn't roll my focus. That should be a 17.
Okay, so I think Dartham knows that somehow he learned during his time out on the surface that Fergus Kuzland actually has been serving as first warden, who is the top, like the lead of the wardens, first warden of the wardens. In fact, his armor, Tyrion, kind of makes it seem like he definitely is way up there.
Yeah.
And then I would also know his affiliation with the Awakened, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So hearing that, I will actually turn back around and lower the hood. Actually, no, I wouldn't lower the hood yet. I'll keep it up, but I would say,
Fergus, last I heard he was an ally of the Awakened.
Pasha is walking towards the sound of the footsteps. Putting that out there, Pasha is walking towards.
oh, okay.
But okay then.
If nobody's stopping her, Pasha, you will meet.
we walk
the
30 feet
wardens.
behind.
You will meet the wardens first. They have one of them, the one in front, Fergus, has a long sword out. Another one appears to have a staff, and then another one appears to have 2 daggers in their hands. And as soon as you meet their sight, they pause and get into not a attack stance, but a defensive stance. And I think Fergus the man at the front will immediately say, "Stay right there. Speak. Who are you?"
Can I make the assumption that you are one Fergus Kuzland? I believe it was.
If I was, who's asking?
You see, I have a bit of a bone to pick with you. You recruited one of my children, and then you got turned into a flesh puppet by a Magister side reel, so I'm rather cross with you right now. Lower your weapons. I'm don't appreciate that.
That definitely was a lot of information very quickly for him. Probably not 80% of it he was not aware of.
At this
80%.
point, Darthan and the rest maybe approach, and he's going to hold up his hands.
Fergus. First Warden Fergus.
First Warden Kuzland, you'd say.
First Warden Kuzland. Is that you?
Yes. And I'm gathering that you all are not affiliated with the Weishaupt Wardens.
No.
And I would just, in response,
Kind of makes that hard.
I see. He will lower his sword, and the other 2 will lower their weapons. Who are you all?
Guess we should go down the line. Any volunteers?
Darthan will step forward.
Dartham Ghislaine, awakened by the architect.
Leon Faust, Circle Mage.
You all are the Dragon Chakra avatars.
Tyrion sort of steps up. Tyrion Seedoff.
The Wardens have heard rumors about you. Seems like you all are the ones that are going around looking into these dragon attacks around Thedas.
And other relevant things.
You can call me Pasha. I am a Tamazran of the Kunari, and mother of I believe you called him Daniel Lento. I'm really not too happy about what happened to him whilst he was a member of your organization.
You are Daniel's mother, he says, very surprised. He never mentioned his mother.
He was stolen from me at a very young age, as I'm a Tamazran Kunari, mother is as good a term as any, he was stolen, joined up with you people, and as I said, now he's a flesh puppet, and I'm not too happy about that.
First of all, Fergus says, Daniel never mentioned anything about his childhood, so I don't think the Wardens were aware of anything about his past prior to being in Orlais. Second of all, you're going to have to explain to me this flesh puppet.
Right. First we're in Kuzland. We, for a time, traveled with two of the Pentaviv Guardians, investigating some, darkspawn that had been mutated.
And let's say when we got down there, we found out Daniel was, let's say, really Cepheus, and there are many others working with him.
5 talking darkspawn, much like the architect. Just like the architect. Magister Sidereal's awakened.
Oh, sorry, where's my manners? My name's Russo Alren.
Pleased to meet you, Rousseau. He sort of sighs a little bit, and he seems a bit weathered, and he says, as if the Wardens didn't have enough on their plate as it was.
Daniel's body is being inhabited by Cepheus.
Flesh puppet.
I see. Out of character, just for pacing's sake, we'll say that Valor is just outside. And not obviously right there, because I'm sure there's some reactions there too. So
That's legit.
We'll reveal
Let's give Rosie and Darren and Valor
Just
like
cuts
a
back to
mountain.
her sitting up top, then just kind of bites down a rabbit running by.
Yeah. On a nug, yeah.
Normally, he says, I would immediately address this problem with the rest of the Wardens. Unfortunately, since I am no longer First Warden, I do not really have that luxury at the moment.
Does it
We
happen
were on our way to
before?
Weishaupt when we noticed your group traveling.
Alren, that's not a super common name, Mr. Russo.
Ah. Well, not many people have it anymore. There's me, my father who might be somewhere, and then my brother.
You're Corin's brother?
Yes, I'm a half-breed. He's a full breed.
Now things are starting to make more sense. I would not advise you all to go to Weishaupt, if I were you.
Did the war happen? The Civil War?
It's taking place as we speak. That is why a group of us are hiding out here in this cave.
Who's in control right now? Who has the numbers?
Who do you think? Corin is now First Warden.
Pasha looks a bit proud. Like, oh.
Oh, my children are both...
One of them's a law speaker, the other's First Warden. How beautiful.
Well,
I can put that on the fridge.
the Pentaviv Guardians have a bone to pick with Corin.
Do they now? News to me.
He murdered the parents of the Guardian of Fire.
That is, again, something that I was not aware of. Corin failed to mention that.
Well, to be fair, we didn't really know they were the
He didn't
parents.
know them, but
Yeah.
he still murdered them.
It's a long story, sir. But so did they? Did his group took over the Weishaupt Fortress?
Yes. I tried to inform the rest of the Wardens finally about the Awakened, and it was not a very popular sentiment, to put it lightly. The entire organization was split, and we tried to manage through our differences of opinion as diplomatically as possible. But things definitely got very heated. Many members of the organization did not appreciate that I kept a secret like this so long from them. And perhaps I made a few mistakes along the way. But at the time, I didn't believe that it would be best to inform them of the awakened up front and what we were trying to do. I didn't think that that was the worse of the two. I believe that was the lesser of the two evils.
To be entirely fair, Sir Cousland, I don't know if the Grey Wardens would have ever been ready. It's kind of like saying you spent your whole life murdering people instead of monsters.
Yes, well, anyway, that is what we are, the state that we are in at the moment. So unfortunately...
Who's currently winning?
I think Corin is, from the implication.
They own the fortress, so they indeed have made up the majority of the opinions. Hence why the few of us have retreated here into this hideout, trying to determine what our next move is.
Has the new First Warden spread word of everything yet?
About the Awakened?
Yes.
Publicly, not yet, but I can imagine that Corin plans to do that very soon.
Are all your Grey Wardens here? From the Awakened side we're talking?
Most of them. A few of them are out on some reconnaissance missions, but for the most part, yes.
Has it evolved into killings, or is it just imprisonment right now?
It was imprisonment at first, but recently things have become way more violent, and yes, we have lost people on both sides, unfortunately.